think a lot of people involved in this organisation simply can't keep up with my intellect. And I mean that sincerely, folks.
Well, there may well be some truth to that, but not very few people can keep up with you. Now, how about this, right? The Independent is one of the newspapers that we all read, comes in on a nightly basis, and we have to look at it. Now, this week, they reviewed the Weatherspoons Hotel.
Okay, where is it?
It's one in, I think it's in Norfolk, actually.
Oh.
Maybe Norwich, I'll double check. But how about this for the intro to what the guy has to say? He said, J.D. Weatherspoons is known for migraine-inducing patterned carpets, calorific cooked breakfast, and old men propping up the bar morning till night.
Why do you have to be so rude about a working men's pub?
Well,
right?
because it's the Independent, right? And it says, so the idea of staying in a room...
The Independent is supposed to be, this great free-thinking...
Yeah.
It's not supposed to endorse stereotypes like that.
Well...
So whichever jerk wrote this is endorsing a stereotype of the working classes.
It's a woman called Daisy Wyatt.
Oh, well, that's even worse then. A lack of sympathy for those people who spend their hard-earned money in economy pubs is, in my view, appalling.
Yeah, well, here's what she said. So the idea of staying in a room above one of its pubs was not exactly enticing. While the thought of rolling out of bed to enjoy a dish from Spoon's signature Mexican Monday menu did sound appealing, it was hard to believe it would be possible to get a good night's sleep in a double room for only £39 a night.
Yeah.
That's an extraordinary price, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Would I go to bed to the sound of the local hen party smashing blue VK's bottles on the floor and wake up to the smell of greasy bacon wafting through the ceiling? I wondered. It's in a place called Beccles in Suffolk, this place, the King's Head Hotel.
Wow.
Is that near where your place is in Suffolk?
No, that's way up north.
Anyway, I mean, at the end of it, she actually says that it was a good night and the room was very nice.
Good.
And the duvet cover was good. And
there you go.
And some of the brick patterns on the walls would have not looked out of place in a New York apartment.
So your attempt to try and belittle a Weatherspoons establishment, this time a hotel, not a pub, has backfired on you.
Not true.
Because you picked out a review which you thought was going to mock it and deride it.
Well, I just like the opening line.
Yeah?
Because that's where you always are.
Yeah.
Old men propping up the bar morning till night.
Stereotypical.
And it says, amazingly, that you can stay there for £59 a night, Monday to Saturday, £39 on a Sunday.
Well, there you go.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, listen, how much do you worry?
No, hardly at all.
I've read a book about worrying.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, you worry a lot, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You are what would be described as a worrier.
Yeah, but if you don't, you're not normal.
I don't agree.
You're not normal.
Well, of course there are certain things that I worry about. I worry about my children quite a lot, but I mean, aside from that, I don't really worry about anything else.
Did you know the verb worry in its current sense did not emerge until the late 19th century because people didn't really have any worries before that?
What do you mean they didn't really have any worries?
Well, they didn't really have any worries. I
don't agree with that.
I suppose if people were starving and, the potato famine was on or something like that, I suppose that's quite worrying.
What about the plague?
Well, the plague was a bit worrying as well, I agree. But
what about when you're a Stone Age man and you might be, I'm unsure if you came out of the cave, you might be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger and eaten to death.
Well, I tell you what I always thought about. If Stone Age man had toothache, that was a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because they just pull it out.
Well, no, he wouldn't know what it was. He wouldn't know why there's pain in my mouth. He wouldn't even know what teeth are. You know what I mean?
Of course he'd know what teeth were.
Well, no, I don't think they would.
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, look, what I'm going to tell you is, until late 19th century, now in early usage, the word worry meant maul, i.e. Shakespeare used it only once in Richard III about dog worrying lambs. You see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, the dogs mauled the lambs.
The lambs were worried.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, the Victorians first used the word worry, as we do, attributed to the pressures of modern life in 1907.
Oh, yeah.
As recently as 1907.
Okay.
How about that?
That's not that recent, is it?
In
108 years ago.
Eh?
108 years ago.
108 years ago. In that year, a book called Worry, The Disease of the Age, so they called it, concluded that only Britons and Americans suffered from worry.
Well, I mean, I suppose
and the rest of the world didn't.
You could make an argument that it's. I mean, there's Western world problems that you might describe.
It's true.
Because when you're comfortable, you worry more about things that when you're uncomfortable or you have nothing, you wouldn't worry about. For example, you wouldn't worry about how to get to work if you didn't have a job. No. You wouldn't worry about being late for work if you didn't have a job. If you lived in a place where there was massive kind of famine going on, you wouldn't really be worried about what people think of you.
But listen to this. Because of the temperate climate and all that, Spaniards, Greeks and Italians, it's observed, this book in 1907, did not worry at all.
Right.
They were too idle to worry.
See, that's just where you get all your attitudes from, because you've described the Mediterranean lifestyle as lazy.
No, this book does. This book on worry, which is reviewing a book on worry in 1907,
I see.
says in 1907 they concluded that Spanish, Greeks and Italians had a lifestyle which was too lazy. It was siestas and all that kind of stuff.
This is what you were always banging on about.
I am. And they didn't worry about anything. They were too idle and did not use their brains enough. Modernist writers quickly seized on the fashionable topic. James Joyce's Ulysses.
Yeah.
Have you ever read that, by the way?
I think so, a long time ago.
I've tried to. Well, I couldn't get past the first 13 pages. No. And T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock.
I haven't read that.
Are both about worrying.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I suppose lots of things are about worrying.
Right.
Worrying's not good for you, by the way.
It is. It's very good for you. It is. It keeps
worrying,
you right on your edge.
No, it doesn't. It ages you.
No.
Right?
No.
It's stressful,
no.
Particularly if you worry about things which you can't do anything about. I mean, people say, for example, there is absolutely no point in worrying about something which is beyond your control.
Don't cry over spilt milk.
Exactly.
Right. Now, it says here, worrying involves imagining possible futures, an ability that distinguishes us from animals. Yeah. Animals don't worry.
Don't they?
Right. And must be...
Sure.
Animals do not worry.
I don't think that's true.
Animals do not worry.
What if you're an antelope in the veldt?
Well, you don't know you're going to get attacked by a tiger.
You must do.
No, you don't.
Well, you're not going to be attacked by a tiger
you.
in the veldt, are you?
You get attacked by...
You're
you do. A leopard. A leopard?
Well, a leopard, maybe. Not a tiger.
Not a tiger. A leopard. Yeah, but you don't know
if
you're
going to worried about getting attacked by a tiger, you've wandered a bit far.
Yeah.
You're in another continent.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right. It says here, it distinguishes from other animals, and it must be almost as old as the act of thinking. For early man, survival depended not on worrying, but finding food and water and evading predators.
Right. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah. Hang on. They turned this argument round. They said, actually, for Stone Age man, worrying was an essential part of your life.
Yeah.
If you didn't worry, you were dead.
Well, exactly.
If you didn't worry about predators, if you didn't worry about eating...
But you didn't worry about whether, people were going to make fun of your shoes or, whether your trousers went with your jacket.
No, that's absolutely right.
You didn't worry about what people thought of them, probably.
Yeah. But I've always believed, and I used to say this when I was in the newspaper industry, right?
Yeah.
I used to say, look, this is a very stressful job. As our news editor of the Express, and you were the news editor of papers and all that. But that stress kept me right on the edge of my seat all day long.
Yeah.
And not only that, it meant when you left that office in the evening, you felt so fulfilled that you'd been worrying for the last 12 or 14 hours.
But did you not worry when you left the office, right?
Yeah.
That at some point or other, 11 o'clock at night, when all the other papers came in, somebody else might have something better than you.
Definitely.
And therefore, so the worry would continue.
Yeah. And then... If another paper did have something you didn't have, I'd then worry the next morning I went into work, I was going to get it in the ear from the editor for not having done what we should have done last night. Yeah. And then the process started all over again for another 16-hour cycle of work.
Well, that wasn't good for you, was it? I mean,
it was good. I loved worrying.
No, it drove you mad. It drove you mad in the end. That's why you had to quit.
No, it doesn't drive me mad. I have tried occasionally, maybe in the recent years gone by, to scale down the amount of work I do.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Right.
I don't worry enough.
Right.
I don't worry enough.
You don't worry enough.
I don't worry enough. For instance, right, if I sit down and watch...
You've got the sort of the prime worry, really, which is, are you going to manage to survive on a day-to-day basis? Are you going to drop dead?
No, that is true.
Do you worry about that?
No, I've given up worrying about that.
Right, okay.
But it is something... When you've been as close to death as I have, it completely changes your outlook on life. Right. And you actually become rather... philosophical about things.
So you should worry less as a result.
Maybe. But what I'm saying is, if I sit down to watch Coronation Street, 8 minutes into an episode of Coronation Street, I worry that I should be doing something else.
Really?
That I'm idle, that I don't deserve...
Yeah, but you see, that's not about worry. That's about a more deep-seated psychological defect that you've got.
I am idle, that I have... There must be the things I should be doing. I have not earned this leisure time.
Yeah, but you see, that's all a result of the way that you were treated as a child. You don't think you don't think you deserve to succeed. You don't think that actually you deserve to have anything good.
What's that got to do with my childhood?
Well, because that's where it all stems from.
What do you mean?
Because you were deprived as a child. You were treated like the outside edge of the kind of family, weren't you? You've told us all that.
No.
That when there were 2 seats at the fairground, you were the one that didn't get to go.
But that was because there were 3 of us.
Yeah,
that was
I know. When there were 2, when there were 2 ice creams
when
there were 2 ice creams to be bought, you were the one that didn't get one.
Well, it didn't bother me.
When you were put in a car, you were the one that had to sit in the middle on the hump.
Yeah.
You didn't have a seat of your own.
That didn't worry me.
That has what set you up with this psychological defect, which means that you don't feel that you deserve anything. You feel that you're worthless. You don't feel that you should enjoy. You don't feel that you should enjoy anything.
I do not feel I'm worthless.
Well, you are.